There's just those seasons of life where life challenges you to your core. They come in waves at certain phases in our life, at certain junctures, and they bring a lot of pain, a lot of change, a lot of confusion. But through that, there's a sort of alchemy. There is an alchemy that is calling us to rise, and to expand, and to explore. Not just into the juicy good things that we get to discover and crave, but explore the dark nooks and crannies of what's really keeping us stuck, of what's really being challenged, because life is challenging the part of you that needs to sort of transform and alchemize so that you can take the shape of the new chapter of your life, the new paradigm, the new era. So if you're someone who really feels like you're being challenged, whether it's the dark night of the soul, or whether it's, heartbreak, or just deep yearning for more in your work and your career, I just want to speak to exactly that and help you sort of reframe the way that we can experience challenge, we can experience the sort of tumultuous season that life might present us. So I say that it challenges a specific part of us because it's not that life doesn't want us to grow and to succeed. It's that in order to become the next version of ourselves, there's a shedding. There's a big shedding that needs to take place. Systems like astrology with your Saturn return and things like that mention just that particular phase, which I'm going through right now, 28 to 30 type of era where you're really shifting the way that you relate to yourself and how you show up in the world. And it usually takes the form of some pretty major conflict inside and out. That's just one system, right? But those things aren't because life doesn't care about you. It's not that God doesn't love you and woe is you. As much as I can feel sort of betrayed by the divine from time to time, like, fuck. Like, I am working so hard, I'm opening my heart so much. Why do I keep getting met with just pain and just rejection, whatever it is, right? It's so that we can use those as the doorways to look into those parts of ourself that need to be updated and refined. If life is challenging this feeling of lostness, it's calling you to discover a bedrock in your soul of what your mission is, of how you want to show up and give your gifts and be on purpose. If life is challenging you with this deep feeling of loneliness, it's calling you to do the work to become whole, to stop seeking and sourcing out there, and do the hard, honest work of being full in your own presence. And again, there's no framework, right? I mean, it's different for everybody. You have to walk that path, but know that it's not for nothing, right? The challenge is because life knows you are ready. And whether or not you believe you have the capacity for it, you either do or you're being called to expand your capacity to meet that with life, I've just am in a season of new beginnings, but those new beginnings have come with really painful, grief-filled endings. And the more that I allow myself to integrate the juice from that pain and really find the parts of me that are fragmented and out there, the more I start to feel my power, and the more I get to rediscover and reclaim my power. Because that's what it's all about. When we feel lost, it's about discovering ourselves and our power, right? We don't have to have it all figured out, but it's realizing that life wants us to come into our power. Life wants us to come into our fullness, our sovereignty. Life wants us to be interdependent. It doesn't want us to be so separate from the world and be so independent, nor does it want us to be so codependent on the world around us. It wants us to be full and to fully engage with the world from a place of I'm consciously choosing this because it's my gift, it's my purpose. I'm choosing this person because I can give so much value, they can give me value, and we'll grow together, but we don't need each other, right? Life is calling us to embody those aspects, and it's not easy work. But know that if you are being challenged, it's because what's on the other end of this challenge is more of what you crave. Whether you know what that is or not, it's like I'm in a season where I felt like I've known what I've craved to be. I felt like all the intangible things I've just known very clearly, like I want to deepen my presence. I want to expand my nervous system capacity. I want to do the deep inner work so that I can become just more full and regulated. And now it's like, shit, what do I crave and yearn for in the outer environment? How do I want to show up? What's the next iteration of my business? What's a potential job I could explore? How can I be more on purpose in the physical world? And so we have to start asking those hard questions, what do you crave? And sit with all the uncomfort and all of the pain and all of the joy and curiosity of what might come up. And a really important note, when you're feeling those dark seasons, those painful, challenging seasons, curiosity is something that really carries us through, because we get to explore. And through the exploring is where we discover more of ourselves. In the uncertainty and the unknown is where we find all of the juice about who we truly are. Problem is, it's like we tend to avoid that, right? Because uncertainty is scary. We want to control. Fuck surrender. I want control. It's like, it's hard. I deeply, deeply yearn to be more surrendered and trusting of life as I direct and lead myself. But I find that I start to control, and I no longer crave that. I want to be surrendered, because that's where you learn. That's where you expand. That's where you begin to know and live as the qualities of what you crave, so that you are magnetic, so that you attract different opportunities, places, and people into your life. And that's where, the hard work starts to open up into more levity. And it doesn't mean that there's not still challenge and pain and hardship. It's just that as we start to explore and get curious about why we feel limited, what our purpose is, what we crave, we hold our heart a little higher. We get to, engage the world with just a little bit more curiosity versus control. That's a huge shift. And that really is like the magic key to carry you through those seasons of life where you really are challenged, right? Is being curious about, why am I being challenged? What is it calling forth? What am I here to alchemize, transform? What am I here to give? Give. It's really about giving. We look to life so much through the lens of what can I receive, what can I take? And that's fine, right? But it's much more empowering to take the stance of what can I give? Knowing that I'm safe in the world, whatever I do, and that I'll be met, whether that's immediately or 6 months, a year down the road, I'll be met. And I can rest in that, I can dwell in that. So let this be sort of a challenge and also a guide for you to go into those dark crannies, to really ask those hard questions and come to a place of curiosity, so that you can really carry yourself and feel yourself being carried by life, by the divine, into the next iteration of you, which is a more expansive, abundant, and sort of joy-filled experience, right? So thanks for listening. If you appreciated this, you're gonna love my newsletter. Sign up for that below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps me out a lot. And looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Ciao.